Good afternoon and welcome to Midweek Faith Lift from Unity of Chattanooga's Midweek Faith Lift message of hope and inspiration. I'm here with Bethe Motlow. Hey, Beth.
Hello, Shannon. How are you?
I'm doing really good, really good. We're actually here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we're at the old
post office.
The old post office.
Off of Kelly Street.
Off of Kelly Street. South Kelly Street,
yes,
actually.
South Kelly Street. The building was built in 1903. And, so this is a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And, I feel very honored to be here. So,
well, I'm honored to have you. This building, I actually walk by this building probably 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
I walk my dogs by this building.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I have 2 dogs. I have a mutt that I just found about a couple months ago.
Yes.
And a
What's
lot of
his name?
His name is Jelly. His name is. Well, my dog's name is one of my dogs' name is Peanut Butter.
Oh, perfect. So peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Gotta have a sense of humor with it.
Yeah.
Aww.
So Jelly, we found Jelly about maybe 3 months ago, and he's been a perfect addition to our family. So we walk by here like 4 times a week, and we were actually walking by here when they were doing construction on this building, and so I met you.
Yes.
This past Sunday.
First time we've seen each other.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to Unity since May, but I was really drawn to the message that Doug had said he was going to be doing on inner guidance.
Yeah.
And I really resonate with that, and I had a friend that I wanted to share that with. So he was open to it, and everything just worked out. And then at the end, Doug's like, well, I'm going to be out of town.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how did I volunteer?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know. Doug was going to be out, as you guys already know, Doug is out of town in Canoga at the spiritual retreat.
Yes.
And with the Unity movement, he's at that spiritual retreat.
Right.
And so he was like, you know what, we need to find someone to replace Doug until he gets back next week. And
I was just standing there.
You were standing there. You were standing there, and I was like, oh, I was like, we want you. Like the military, we want you.
Yes, and I was like, ooh, okay, because I've never done a podcast. So this is like the Virgin Voyage.
Yeah. I mean, perfect personality for it. I think it's going to be great.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes.
But what did you think about this Sunday? I mean,
my gosh! So, and I love Doug. I've been going to Unity on and off through the years since like 2005, and it really was a spiritual pivot in my life. Like one of the big things that Doug was teaching at the time was Keys to the Kingdom, and so I signed up for that class, and that was like a lesson in like making vision boards and talking about like what you wanted to see for your life, and like applying the Unity principles to that. And I had never heard of this concept before, and so I was just enthralled. I was like, oh my gosh, this Keys to the Kingdom, and just kind of a breakdown. The keys to the kingdom are really inside of yourself. Like, and I was like, what a great place to hide it, because nobody's going to look inside.
Right.
And God did a beautiful way of like placing that inside of ourselves. So, and so it was about creating a vision for your life that you could see happening. And so that's kind of what led me to the subject that I'm talking to you about today, is living in vision.
Living in vision.
And not in, but I-N vision.
Say it again. Living
in vision.
Living in vision.
Yes, living in your vision, and so I brought a couple of kind of props, if we can like talk about that.
Sure. Let's get to it.
Because
I mean the viewers are here to get to get whatever they can get for the to get that boost during the middle of the week. So if you have something that you can give, we would. Before we do that, I want to share your email address, because we get caught up in this little podcast, and the time goes really quickly, and we don't get a chance to share your information. I want people to know if they want to get in contact with you, they have a way to get in contact with you. So let's put that up right now. Your email address. And while I'm doing that, maybe you can
just give it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Motlow Branch, MOTLOW BRANCH @gmail.com.
Now your last name isn't Branch.
No, my last name is Motlow.
Okay.
But the reason why
I'm going to ask you, what is this branch?
Yeah, so the branch thing if some of the Unity people know me, and I have this home out in Dayton, and I've used branches to design with because I'm an interior designer by schooling. And so there's so many different connotations to branch. There's not only like branches in the trees, but there's also branches of a family. And so I'm a branch of the Motlow family. There's also bodies of water that are branches. And you think about the protection of branches are almost like wings that spread out and reach up to the sky. So there's so much like spiritual energy to me around the word branch.
That's
and
beautiful.
So,
So Motlow branch.
Motlow branch, yeah. And that's kind of becoming like the name of my little space out there. So anyway, it took a little while for that to land because I was like, what am I going to call this place? Whatever. But it's turned out really beautifully. So
if they want to the viewers want to get in contact with you, they should email
Motlow branch at
gmail.com.
Yes.
What do you have for us today? What do you?
So in this class, The Keys of the Kingdom, I was early in the metaphysical side of my journey in spiritualism, and so in this class we made a vision board, kind of what we wanted to see happening. So I was working for myself as an interior designer, and at the time, my former husband got laid off from his job, and so I needed to get health insurance for my daughter and myself. I wasn't so much worried about me, but I wanted to make sure she had insurance. And so in the class, we're starting to build our little boards, and I was like, okay, God, I really need a job that has benefits. Like working for myself is great, but I don't have health insurance.
Okay, so you got to go. Now, you may have some people that don't understand this whole vision board thing. So the purpose of this class is to what?
Is to create the vision for your life.
Create a vision for your life.
Yes.
And so you do that by what? What do you have to do?
Tell
me the little practical parts of it.
The practical parts of it is you're going to cut out images of things that you want to experience in your life. Okay. And you're going to put them on a board, and I'm going to show you the board in just a minute.
Okay, cool.
So in this class, I'm like, first thing I need is like something that supports me financially to build the rest of the life, So, I mean, like I said, I loved doing my design business, but I needed benefits. I needed some security. Okay. So during this time, the newspaper started coming out of the blue. I did not sign up for it. It just started showing up on my doorstep. And that Sunday was the day that I see the job that I currently have. Okay. And the help wanted sign. And back in the day when there was not as much internet stuff, it was in the newspaper. So I cut it out.
You cut that out. That job that you wanted.
Yes, and I put it on the vision board.
Okay, you put it on the vision board that you set up in the class. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So
because you wanted to create.
Yes, I was like, I would be really great at this. I'm an architectural rep for a company, and I was like, I could do that really well. So it takes about 6 weeks for me to land the job because back then corporate had to come down and interview you. It was just like this whole ordeal.
They don't do that anymore.
So they don't do that anymore. They do it on a Zoom call. Okay. And they're like, take this test, do this, and then you got the job. Boom, you're done. Well, not back then. Okay. Because this was 2007. Okay.
Right.
So, the newspaper continues to come every day. For 6 weeks. I get the job offer on a Friday. I accept it, and the newspaper stops on that Sunday.
Stop.
I called the newspaper to say, I'm not supposed to be getting the newspaper. And the people were like, well, you're not on there. I don't know how you're getting it. And I was like, I don't either. So clearly that was from Spirit. Okay. So in this process of that 6 weeks, this class is going on. So I keep adding things to the board that I want to experience in my life. Okay. So going to show you the little board. I mean, this is ancient.
And this is the actual board you created.
This is the actual board.
Now,
and
can our viewers see that
job,
board? You're going to have to move that up a little bit.
Yeah,
okay,
here
cool.
we go.
Yeah.
The job in the middle. And these are just things I wanted to experience in life. Okay. So, and on the back, there's also, a house that I'm talking about. I wanted to marry Colin Firth. I mean, he's hot. Okay. So I loved all the characters he played in movies. So that's why he's on here. Okay. So anyway, so this board is from 2007.
2007.
Okay. So fast forward. I get the job. I've been at the job now for 14 years. So a very long time. It's been a very good fit for me. I've been able to travel, all those things on there. I've gotten to travel. It's really met all my needs. Okay. So 5 years ago, this was after my mom had passed away, and she was living with me in Red Bank. And, you know, when you have a parent pass away in your home, it just kind of shifts the energy in the home. Yeah. And you're just, so you know, it was just so sad. You know, that was the last family member I had alive, and I just was really lost. And I had all of her things. So I had my brother, my dad, and my mom's, all their things, like, shoved into my tiny little Red Bank house, okay? And so I was like, how can I sell this stuff? I mean, when I let go of it, that's all of my family. That's how I connect, you know?
Of course.
So, so I went on and did a fire walk, you know, I did like a couple of other spiritual things that kind of like kept propelling me forward. And I was like, what would it look like if I were to do a business? I have some of you know, I had like aspirations to do another kind of business that we're not going to talk about right now, but I was looking for a location for it. And so I sat down to do a second vision board. Okay. And the second vision board, really, well, you know, I guess I'll just say I had wanted to do a distillery because that's my family lineage. Okay.
A distillery.
A distillery. So this is what I did, 2015, September 29th, okay? So, and those were the two buildings I was considering. And of course, I had no money to do all this.
No,
like
you
this,
just put it,
I just
you
put
just
it
put
in
it on
the
the board.
universe. I put it into the universe,
right.
Okay? So,
you
and
put
in
it on
the
the board.
corners, I put birds. Because I said, you know, they have wings. They can take the message out. Like, why not put some birds in there? So.
And you put the building name also on.
I did. Oh okay. Yeah, I was calling it in. You know, because that is part of the spiritual principles of unity. Is when you are aiming for something from your heart, the faster it can come in. You know, like, and if you get out of your own way and out of your details and just say, Lord, this is really my heart's greatest desire. You know, it's not $1 million. I mean, we're not talking about that. Like, what is really your heart's desire? And when you do that, that is when the magic can happen. Wow. You know, that is where spirit like slips right in and like totally brings you what you want and need, and not only brings it, but supports you in it. Okay. So this is September 29th, 2015. 7 days later, I see a house. I heard, and I wasn't looking for a house. I was getting tires on my car, and a friend took me to this house, and it was sitting empty. And it's this beautiful, like, 1850s farmhouse. And I was like, oh, wow, what would it look like if I did this out here? If I did my distilling and, like, whatever business out here. And so I said, I don't have the money. I have no idea how to do this. I'm not anywhere ready to sell my house. Like, it's way over my budget. Like, how does this work? And literally a week later, I couldn't get the house out of my mind. And I was like, what if? What if I just went and talked to the bank?
Wow.
What if?
Right.
What if? And so the house had sat there for 3 years, sold and fell through. Sold and fell through. So probably 5 times.
This is before you did the what if. It sold and fell through. Right. Okay.
So for 3 years, this house was selling, but the deal was always falling through. And so the person with not the means to do it, no real plan on how to do it, ends up getting the house. Wow. Like, every door opened for me. Every door. So I get the house, and I have to figure out how to sell my house. But in the meantime, Spirit is making my business, my day job business, so busy that I'm able to pay both mortgages, which is crazy. I mean, I just have no words for this. There were so many miracles along the way. So when I finally do sell my house in Red Bank, I had it sold, and then the lady decided that she wanted to pay me less money than what we agreed to on the contract. And I didn't want any like connection to that, so I gave her an earnest money back. I was like, I don't want to be tied to you in any way.
Of course, yeah.
So I went to a wedding 1 year to the day that I saw the house in Dayton for the first time, and someone asked me, what do you need? What do you need to happen? And I hadn't been real clear on what I needed. I said, I need this much money. I said, I need the people to love it. And I said, I need to close in 3 weeks because my cash account is low right now. And that night, that's exactly the offer I had in my inbox when I got home.
Wow, the offer that you said you needed.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And so Spirit, again, was supporting, saying, we've got your back. Trust. You have to trust. So, to follow up on the original board from 2007, you will see this is the house that I had as my dream house on here. Okay?
Right. Country living. Right.
I'm moving into the house from Red Bank, and I realized I bring my board out because it had been in the closet.
Well, wait. Go back. You got to go back.
Okay.
Go back a little bit. You said that
I made this board in 2007.
Right.
Okay. I'd seen that magazine. On a magazine, I loved it.
You put it on there, and you just put it in the closet.
And I put it in the closet because I was, living life. I was like busy living life. So put that vision away.
You didn't put it on the board and stood around waiting for it to happen. Every day you didn't check.
I didn't check. I didn't say, is it happening today? Because I forgot about it. Okay, because I was living life. I was like, and then when.
But it was so much belief when you put it on that board.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Did you have to keep believing? Did you have to keep checking in with the belief?
No, I had.
Or do you just do it one time?
I had to do
you do it in the class one time and that's it, or do you do it in the class that one time with a whole bunch of belief and faith? And then
for me, it was doing it with a bunch of belief. Okay,
and then you just let
it go.
You wasn't every day looking at the board trying to.
No, I completely forgotten about the board. Okay,
cool.
So this is the house.
How many years later?
It came 8 years.
8 years later.
8 years later, and this is the house, and you can see it is basically the house.
Wow.
On
Beautiful.
the original board.
Wow, really nice, really nice.
So, I am a living proof of how that works.
Let's talk about how it works. Let's talk about the spiritualness of it.
Yes.
I don't understand. I know a little bit about vision boards. But do you know more about? Do you know a lot about? Do you know the technical parts of it, like the things that you have to do? Like,
well, what Spirit guides. So through the course of all of this, like getting the house and losing my family and just really questioning like how I connect to Spirit and asking Spirit to show up big time for me, like that is where I think people forget to go. When your emotional support system is completely removed, you really just have to get real with yourself.
Go inside.
Go inside. And that's what the keys of the kingdom ask you to do, is go inside. And so I really went inside and, and had faith. I mean, it's just a combination of like faith and trust, like knowing that the universe is going to raise the step up for you to meet your foot.
Right.
But there is a lot of faith that you have to have, and be open to the messages that you get. Like Spirit is always connecting with every person. Like I'm no different than you or anybody else in the audience. Like I'm no more special. It's just, I think I can let go of like the material world and just connect and say, how can I be of service? And this house, I think, is going to become a place of service.
I want to go back a little bit to the manifestation of your dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell our viewers exactly what the process was for you? Like you joined, you got into. I mean, just talk a little bit about the practical parts of it. What did the class entail? What would you suggest to our viewers that they do if they wanted to create a vision board? Like,
well, I think just sitting down with a board and like cutting the pictures. For me, I really like to intertwine them, so connect them, like always kind of layer them a little bit. But it's just getting real with what your heart desires.
Your heart.
Like it's your heart.
Not what everybody else has.
It's not the monkey mind that's over here chattering going, you're crazy, you cannot do this, stop thinking about it, you're not worthy, all those things. you've got to let go of those noises that are interrupting the connection between your heart and God's space and spirit space. And so as you create this, vision and live in vision of what you want to create for your life, then things start falling away. You start losing some friends.
You start losing things.
Cords start getting cut, to people that you've been friends for with 20 years. But it's because your vibration is rising because you are rising to meet your highest self. Your highest self. And so when you can
so things look like they're falling apart to some
extent. Yes, things, believe me, when I was moving into here, I lost a multitude of friends because I was moving out of town, 35, 40 minutes away. Beth's lost her mind. Why is she doing this?
Right, she's crazy.
She's crazy. Yeah. She's lost her ever-loving mind. And I just knew, this was where I was supposed to be because every door opened, And
so you were okay through all of it.
I was terrified. Right. Are you kidding me? You
were terrified through it, but your needs were being met.
My needs were being met. Right, when I went to put the offer in, or when I was questioning, should I put an offer on this house? I said, Spirit, I need a sign from you that this is mine to do. Because you always want to kind of ask if that's, if this is really mine to do. And so I heard clearly to go to this beautiful tree that's on the property. And to walk up to the tree, and I walked up there, and there was a cardinal feather sitting under the tree, and I was like, first of all, I've never seen a cardinal feather on anything but a cardinal, and so this beautiful red feather is sitting there for me, and I just knew that I was meant to be the caretaker of this place. Now, I don't consider myself the owner because we can't own land, it belongs to everyone,
right?
I mean, it's going to be here when we're gone.
Right, it's not.
It may say we own it on a deed, but it's all phony. I am just the caregiver here.
Until you're gone.
Until I'm gone. Exactly. So, So anyway, I just think the more you can get in tune with what it is that your heart's great desire is. It could be to sell everything and live in a tiny space. I mean. And there's nothing wrong with that vision. That's a beautiful vision because that's what resonates with your heart. It could be to, get a car or, whatever it is that your heart is really just and you'll know it when you see it. You have this emotional connection. You're just oh my gosh, you're just like a little kid in a candy store. You're oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Can I please have that? And when you connect with it, then the doors are gonna all
start opening. Yeah. But what exactly is your do you have a spiritual practice that you do on a regular basis?
Yes.
And when we say regular, what is regular to you?
Daily.
Yeah,
daily. I really.
Because I see these rocks.
Yes, rock. I really connect to stones. And my house out there has tons of stones and artifacts and stuff that I love to dig up and connect to because stones are what support the world. They come from deep in the earth. And if you're looking for grounding, stones are beautiful to do that. They're just talisman. They're baby steps that you take when you are unsure about your connection to spirit. You're oh, well, this stone will get me closer to my higher self. And so when you're early in your spiritual journey, you put the energy, or you get the energy out of the stone, but you also think that the stone is doing it for you, when really everything is inside of you.
Everything's inside of you. So early on, you kind of think it's the stone doing everything.
Yes. The stone is giving me, extra energy or grounding me or whatever. And it can, and it does. Those really do give you some extra energy. But the reality is that it's right here.
Inside
God,
of you. Yeah.
placed it there. And if you just get quiet enough, and so it's a matter of being quiet enough to hear, what that soft voice inside of you is saying, I really want to experience this. And that's when it can happen. and just being open and not questioning all the signs that show up for you to support where you're going. You know, like that's the hardest thing. You're like, one of the things when I was looking at the house was I needed a home inspection. And so my realtor sent me some home inspector names, and I just happened to pick one that was my dad's name, which was Wayne, Travis Wayne. And I called the gentleman and I said, well, I don't know if you go to Dayton. He said, yes, I go to Dayton. And I said, well, I have this older farmhouse that I need to get an inspection done on. And he was like, okay. I said, it's white and it's that, you know, I gave the address, and he was like, does it sit pretty far off the road? And I said, yeah, there's a barn first and then you see the house. And he goes, I just did a home inspection on that 6 months ago. He goes, I'll just send it to you.
Right, you don't need to pay.
I didn't have to pay anything.
$500.
Exactly.
You saved $500.
Exactly.
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. I was like, thank you. But that's, you know, like those are the kind of things that will align for you when you're in alignment with your heart.
With your heart, yeah.
With your heart.
Tell us a little bit about, these stones have purpose. Do they have...
Yes.
They not only...
Yes.
They have spiritual purpose, but they're also, from what I understand about stones, they're living things.
They actually, you know, my understanding is they record and like store energy and store like information in them. How you get it all out, I don't know. But I do, like, this is a pink calcite here. This is a tourmaline that also has mica in it.
And these are different stones that were found in the earth, and they're all different.
Yes, and they're all different. So sometimes, you know, like tourmaline is really great to like help release negativity, and like and the mica just it just brings in another energy with it. So you're welcome to hold it. Like you can kind of feel it. My hands really tingle when I like pick up tourmaline. I really resonate with that.
This is really nice.
It's a beautiful piece. And then this one is, you know, this calcite's really beautiful and, you know, really connects to the higher realms. And you just see the tiny bit of pink in it. And
I do see the pink.
Yeah, I love how that looks like. You know, I can't imagine like going into a cave and like finding this. I would be like, it's like Superman. It's like Superman and all the you know.
Have you ever been to the cave? What is it? Rock
City?
Rock City.
Yes.
And they have different types of rock. Like
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, where these are mined, they're not really around here. You know, I brought a stone too from my property out in Dayton. This is kind of like an Native American stone with some etching on it. I get so many of those things at the house. Like, you know, it really is such a spiritual place. Like, just a lot of Native American energy there. And of course, everyone knows that Dayton, or may not know this, but the Trail of Tears actually began up there in Dayton, across the river at Meigs County. And there is a Cherokee Removal Memorial Park, which is kind of across the water from where I'm living. And so
there's a lot of spiritual
activity.
Oh,
yeah. And it was it was a little heavy when I got there, you know, and I also think that we as beings of light are called to places to be the light. And so, you know, moving up to Dayton was a bit of a challenge because, you know, they have a very strong structure of, you know, faiths that maybe don't have room for what Unity has room for. And so, you know,
strong
it was
Baptists up there, or
Baptist,
Southern Baptist,
Church of God, you know, and all those religions, they're okay. They're okay.
Yeah.
I have no judgment for that at all. I think there's so many paths to God. There's like a bazillion paths to God, and it's not for us to judge. Like that's between you and
that's right, and your God.
Yeah,
tell me a little bit about your spiritual practice. We're going to go and we're already done. I know. But a little bit about your spiritual. What do you do on a regular basis to stay centered?
I do some meditation. I really just keep myself open to the channel of hearing spirit, and I sometimes deliver messages to people. And it's
deliver messages to people?
Yeah, and so I always feel like the information I'm getting is really coming from their higher self, and can sometimes be at a pivotal point in their life where like I'm not really sure which way to go, and sometimes you just need to be a touchstone for people, and oftentimes it's strangers, but I'm so grateful for those experiences, you know. And so I think that's part of like what my future is like connecting with people to get them where they want to go, you know, like
well, we certainly have viewers here on Facebook that would probably want to know where they're gonna go, where they want to go. And so, would it be okay for them to contact you if they?
I think so.
Okay, I'm
just kind of stepping into these gifts, and this has been really lovely. I think end goal is to be inspirational to people. Like everybody has a path. Everybody is divine. Every person is divine, and just helping people understand their own divinity is a gift for me to share. So,
well, you've definitely done that today with us. You know, I want to thank you for coming out, joining us on our midweek faith lift.
You're welcome.
And I hope
thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I hope that you would accept an invitation to come out again.
Yes.
So, guys, we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll be back next week, and Doug will be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And can't wait to hear what kind of experiences he had in Nashville.
Doug and I always have some good stuff to talk about. But thanks again for coming out.
Thank
I'm looking forward to
Shannon.
seeing you again.
Yes, thank you, Shannon. This has been great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.